What's going on, YouTube fam? Oh my goodness, I need a haircut. Life has been good. I have not regretted quitting full-time. Working per diem has worked really well for me. I've been able to travel so far in February to California to visit some really great friends for a couple weeks. Recently, I just did a trip, a week in Phoenix and a week in Denver, and still in the process of editing all that content. And as I'm learning, editing takes quite a long time in order to show you all the hikes and everything that I've done over there, which is absolutely gorgeous. I've never been over there before and it's been such a blast. So I just want to make a video for things that you want to consider before quitting your job. I know these are things that I definitely considered before making the final move. Do you know how to live with less? For me, I grew up with less. If you watch one of the other videos that I talked about in my background, I didn't grow up with a lot. And so I'm familiar already with not needing a lot. I'm somebody who isn't very flashy, so I don't have or need or want luxury brands. I don't need to show off brands. I'm kind of more practical and functional, and for cars, get me from point A to point B and don't break down, right? I think that's kind of more my style. You really want to be able to anticipate not having as much money. And are you okay with that? Do you know how to budget? This is something that is not only a practice, but after a while it becomes into your lifestyle. And it's so vital if you're gonna make this decision. Do you know where all your money goes? In and out. Do you have a fund for going out like I do? Do you have a fund for groceries? Do you have a fund for your pet? Do you have a fund for other things? Do you have an emergency fund? So for me, initially, I had an emergency fund for approximately 2-3 months of my spending. Because again, I learned how to budget and I was able to see and track how much I was spending to see how much I was able to accommodate for. With the pandemic, unfortunately, interestingly in healthcare, there actually came to a point when we didn't see anybody in the urgent care. So it was very eerie, it was very odd, but I got to a point almost where jobs were in danger. In other parts of healthcare, like orthopedics, and where they canceled elective procedures, people got laid off. So after that, and also learning about other people's advice, I decided to extend that out to 6 months. So do you have a 3 to 6 month understanding and also allocation for emergency? And that's money that you don't touch whatsoever, only for emergency situations. Are you ready to pay for your own health insurance? Health insurance in America, in the US rather, is expensive. In planning things out, I would have to pay approximately, as a single person, about $6 grand a year. So initially when I left my job, I signed up for Cobra to see where it was at, and it was $655 a month. So that took me over $7 grand a year. And now through the marketplace, I was able to get one for myself with a plan for $515, so less, but right around what I was expecting in terms of that much money. But I planned for it and I knew how to budget, so I was already part of my plan and I already saw that coming. Knowing that I was going to travel more, I knew that I was also going to incur more risk. So if I sprained an ankle, God forbid something else happened, I need to go to the ER, I knew that I needed to have insurance to really make sure that I was okay and I didn't have to be in financial ruin. Unfortunately, despite being a really great nation, right, we still have to worry about losing our job and losing our health insurance, which I think is completely whack. Do you know what your cash flow will be? So I am still working a little bit. So what my flow is right now is that it's been nice to really pick a trip, right, budget for that trip, as well as pick shifts around that. So still figuring out that flow, but that's kind of my cash flow right now as I figure out how I'm going to build passive income in other ways. Do you know where your debt is? Do you have any credit card debt? Do you have student loans? Do you have a mortgage? I have 0 credit card debt. I've actually never had credit card debt. I have 3 credit cards, but I pay them off every single month. because I never spend more than what I make. It's very important. But I have a ton of student loans, into the six figures, right? That I have to budget for accordingly in terms of paying off. Now, it's been nice in order to have a little bit of a break as far as the student loan interest, but that's going to kick back in at some point, and it doesn't look like loans are going to be forgiven anytime soon. So I'm going to have to work with that, right? I'm going to have to make it work. What's your retirement fund like? So I was already practicing and putting into my 401k, Roth IRA every year and trying to maximize those out. I'll do another video as far as getting into my financials, but you got to do that. If your employer matches your 401k, that is free money. Don't let that go. They are literally paying you so that you have a retirement fund. Something that you should already be doing for yourself. And I get it. I mean, there was definitely a point when I felt like I didn't have that much money to work with anyway to put into my retirement as far as saving for later. But compounding interest is incredible. And maybe I'll do a separate video on that because, man, if you even just put a little bit in, it doesn't have to be maximizing. Even just a little bit, it grows. If you invest it, it grows an incredible amount by the time you retire. And a really big thing is don't quit if you're buying a house or property. Unless you're paying with cash, I mean, then you're a baller, but banks don't really like that. As far as if they're giving you a loan, they want to make sure that you have a stable income. So if you're gonna make that move and you still have plans for yourself, make sure you stick with that job. At least through, close and make sure that's all set. All right, cool. So those are some things that I definitely had to consider and key things that you want to make sure that you have set as well to protect yourself if you're gonna make this really big move. All right, I wish you luck. Be well. Catch you next time.